There is exactly one international hockey trophy with Wayne Gretzky's name on it. It's called the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. It's the biggest under-18 tournament on the summer calendar. And in 2024, a kid from Campbellville, Ontario, won it. That was the second time he'd pulled on a Canada jersey. He'd already won gold the first time. He won gold the third time, too. 3 tournaments for his country. 3 gold medals. No silvers, no bronzes, no early exits. Tyler Hopkins is 3 for 3, and starting today, he's in Windsor competing for a spot on the World Junior team, alongside 4 players who were taken in the top 10 of the 2026 NHL Draft. Hopkins wasn't. Toronto got him with the 86th pick. 3 for 3. Say that out loud, because it's the whole story in 4 words. Canada does not hand out roster spots at those tournaments. Every one of them is a 100-plus player tryout narrowed down to a 22-man team, and the country loses those tournaments all the time. Hopkins has never been on a Canadian team that didn't finish first. Campbellville is a hamlet west of Toronto, not a hockey factory, not a place scouts circle on a map. Hopkins came up through the Ontario Hockey League with the Kingston Frontenacs, and the profile on him was never future star. It was the less glamorous version, smart center, competes, plays center the way coaches want center played, does the defensive work. That kind of player gets drafted in the 3rd round. It's almost a formula. The first gold came in 2023 at the Under-17 World Hockey Challenge. The second came in 2024 at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, 1 assist in 5 games, which tells you he wasn't the star of that team, and also tells you he was on the ice for a Canadian team that won the tournament, named after the greatest player who ever lived. The third came in 2025 at the Under-18 World Championship, where he had an assist in 6 games under head coach Corey Stillman. So the natural question is whether a guy who wins everything internationally but never leads the scoring is actually a real prospect, or just a good soldier who happened to be on good teams. That's a fair question, and it's the one Toronto answered when it drafted him 86th overall in 2025. Then 2025 to 26 happened, and Hopkins gave a very specific kind of answer. He'd put up 51 points in 67 games the season before with Kingston. This time, he scored 50 points in 56 games. Better production, fewer games, and he did it while playing for 2 completely different franchises. Because in December, Kingston traded him. Look at what Guelph actually paid to get him. The Storm gave up forward Alex McLean plus 4 draft picks. A 2026 third-rounder originally from Saginaw, a conditional 2027 second-rounder from Kitchener, a 2027 fifth-rounder from North Bay, and a 2029 seventh. 5 assets for a 19-year-old third-round NHL pick. And it wasn't a rebuilding team stockpiling. Guelph is hosting the 2027 Memorial Cup, which means the Storm are building a roster specifically designed to win a national championship on their own ice. They spent 5 pieces to make sure Hopkins was on it. Before that trade, he was leading the Frontenacs in both goals and points, 12 goals and 13 assists in 29 games. He was the best player on his team, and they traded him anyway because the price was that high. Drop a comment right now. 3 Canada appearances, 3 gold medals. Did you know any player in this system had that record? I want to know how many of you had heard of him before this video. Here's the detail that says the most about how coaches actually see him. And it's a strange one. Hopkins started the season as one of 4 alternate captains in Kingston. After the trade, he wore an A in Guelph too. Same season, 2 different dressing rooms, 2 different coaching staffs, 2 different sets of veterans already in place, and both of them put a letter on the new 19-year-old. That almost never happens. Junior hockey leadership groups are decided in September, and they're political. They reward guys who've been in the room for 3 years. A player arriving in December is at the bottom of the social order by default. Getting an A in that situation means a coaching staff looked at 3 weeks of practice and decided he was already one of the most trusted people on the roster. And now put that next to the international record because they're the same trait showing up twice. Canada picks under-18 teams from a pool of the best 100-plus players in the country and cuts almost all of them. What survives the cuts is rarely the flashiest player. It's the one a national coaching staff trusts in the third period of a one-goal game. Hopkins has now been that guy 3 separate times for 3 separate staffs, and Canada won all 3 tournaments. Which brings us to right now. This week, from the 26th of July through the 1st of August in Windsor, Ontario, Hockey Canada is running the 2026 World Junior Summer Showcase. Hopkins got the invite. Canada plays Sweden on the 29th, Finland on the 30th, and the United States on the 1st of August. Look at who else is in that room. 31 players developed in the Canadian Hockey League, and the list includes Caleb Malhotra, Daxon Rudolph, Carson Karls, and Keaton Verhoef, all 4 selected in the top 10 of the 2026 NHL Draft. Hopkins went 86th overall in 2025. He is in the same tryout as 4 top 10 picks, competing for the same jerseys, and he arrives with something none of them can claim: a perfect record in a Canada sweater. For the Maple Leafs, the timing matters more than usual. Toronto just finished 32-36-14, 78 points, out of the playoffs for the first time since 2015-16, after the biggest single-season points collapse in franchise history. A team in that position does not get to be picky about where its next useful players come from. Third-round centers who produce, lead, and win are exactly the kind of asset that turns a bad roster into a functional one without a single trade. Nobody is calling Tyler Hopkins a franchise player. 50 points in the OHL is a good season, not a historic one. And there are dozens of 19-year-olds who put up numbers like that and never play an NHL game. The next 12 months, this showcase, a possible World Junior roster spot, a Memorial Cup run in Guelph, decide almost everything. But 3 appearances, 3 golds, a letter on his jersey in 2 different dressing rooms in the same season, and 5 assets traded to get him, is not the resume of a throwaway pick. That's a player whose entire career, so far, has been other people betting on him and winning. So here's what I want from you. Does Tyler Hopkins make Canada's World Junior team this winter? And does he end up an NHL center in Toronto? Or does the run stop at junior hockey? Give me your honest read in the comments. I'm reading every single one.